Hey, welcome back to the Life Coach Launchpad. My name's BJ, and I'm here every week talking to you about all the online business things that, as it turns out, need to happen in order to have a successful life coaching business. I'm a business coach. I love to help life coaches make more money, get more clients, have more fun, and to do what they love to do, what they're meant to do, and that's coaching. So, let's dive right in. Today, I'm walking you through a process that can change how you manage your time, help you find a better balance between work, personal life, and everything in between. We're going to take time blocking and the calendar to-do list connection to the next level. Today, we're mapping out our ideal week using recurring time blocks. So we're creating the schedule that you're going to do every week, and you're balancing it, you're creating it intentionally the way that you want your week to go. And I'm giving you the exact tool I used and have used with clients to plan their ideal weeks. I call it Your Ideal Week Template. You can get it on the show notes page at bjbutler.com/52. It's located within this module. Think of it as designing a template for your week that you can customize as needed, but the goal is to help you, number one, stay consistent with your most important tasks. Number two is reduce overwhelm and decision fatigue. And number three is create a routine that supports both your business goals and personal life. I'll also share some examples of time blocks that you may want to include, like personal development, client work, content creation, and honestly, even lunch. Because let's be honest, if it's not on the calendar, it probably won't happen, right? All right, let's jump into step one, define your priorities. Before we start blocking out time on your calendar, we need to get clear on what actually needs to go into your week. This isn't just about work tasks. This is about everything you may want to make time for, both professionally and personally. Grab a piece of paper or open a notes app and start listing out all the different categories of tasks that you do on a regular basis. I actually just wrote down all the things that I need to get done in a week directly into the ideal week spreadsheet. Right now, we're just talking about writing down a very short list of categories of work or personal tasks that you do throughout the week. Here's what I'm talking about. You'll probably write down some version of these. You're a coach, I'm a coach, we're all coaches, and a lot of the work is pretty similar. First of all, there's client work. This includes your coaching sessions, session prep, and follow-ups with clients. I would add these in first. Put them in the day and time of day where you perform your best. Next is content creation. Whether it's writing a blog post, recording a podcast, or creating social media posts, whatever it is, set aside time each week for generating that content because that's what helps you attract new clients and engages your current audience. I would add these in second because without them, you will have less client work. Next is business development. This is time dedicated to working on your business, not just in it. It could be marketing, improving your processes, or planning your next program or offer. Next is personal development. This might include reading, taking an online course, or journaling. Remember, the more you grow, the more value you can provide your clients. This is one that if you don't put it into your schedule, it doesn't happen. Administrative tasks. There's always email, scheduling, billing to handle. Put a little bit of time in there to make sure that that gets done. Last is family and personal time. Be sure to block out time for meals, exercise, kids' activities, and downtime. It's easy to overlook these, but they're crucial for maintaining balance and preventing burnout. You want to keep the categories general enough so that there are maybe 4 to 6 types of tasks you're working on. I think I had 5 different categories when I was just doing work tasks. You can always fine tune it once these babies are on your calendar. More on that in a moment. The goal here is to capture all the key activities you need and want to include in your week. If you haven't already, go download the Your Ideal Schedule template, bjbutler.com/52. This is the 52nd podcast episode. All right, you've got your list of priorities. Now it's time for step 2. And this is the magic step, turning your to-do list into a plan you can actually follow by scheduling each task as a time block. Here's how it works. For every task category on your list, assign a specific time slot on your ideal week template. For those of you not looking at the your ideal schedule template, it's a column for each day of the week and then a row for each 15-minute block of your day. How you set yours up is up to you. You can customize it every 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. It's up to you. I have a column to the right of the actual schedule that is a legend that has 4 pre-populated categories, each with its own color. And you can actually copy a category in the legend, go to that cell, hit Control C or Command C if you're on Mac, and then paste it into any number of times that you'd like to be working on it. Put it into your schedule. And when you zoom out, you get to design how many hours of each category you plan to do. And ask the question, does that make sense? Is that how you want it to be? You're designing your ideal week. Make it how you want. I actually added up the number of hours I was dedicating to client work to make sure that that was matching my long-term goals. Continue adding to your calendar so that every 15-minute block is intentionally planned out, even if that means for lunch, because in order to stay on this schedule, you're going to have to put in the things that you do every day. And honestly, I can relax more at lunch when I know that it's on my schedule. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. It usually results in more lunches with my wife and fewer eating in front of my computer screen. That's right. I am not perfect. Sometimes I have to hustle to get it all done. But all this planning will help. It has dramatically reduced how much I feel like I'm hustling. You can go as far into your personal time as you'd like. I've done this exercise multiple times, and I just start at my start work time and end at my stop work time. This gives me the biggest bang for my effort. Here's an optional way of adding organization here. You can make some days themed. In fact, I highly recommend this. By that, I mean you want to group as many similar tasks together on the same day as possible. For example, one day could be dedicated to content creation, another day or days to coaching calls or client follow-ups. Another day could be to a project that improves your business. Friday could be an admin or wrap-up day to catch up on emails, organize your tasks, plan for the week ahead. But all of this is your ideal week. So if it makes more sense to spread out the coaching calls to better manage your energy level, do that. First half of the day is one thing, another half of the day is another. When you can avoid context switching, that's great. By that, I mean it's just kind of nice to not have to stop and switch gears too many times per day. But how you do it is up to you. Here's a question that always comes out. What do I do if not every week is the same? You can have multiple ideal weeks. I've done this with as many as 4 ideal weeks, one for each week of the month, and my client would cycle through each one per month. All right, we've mapped out your ideal week or weeks. Now it's time for step 3. Transfer it into your actual calendar. Here is where the real magic happens. Take those recurring time blocks that you created on a spreadsheet, like content creation on Mondays or client sessions on Tuesdays, and add them to your digital calendar as repeating events. This way, your default schedule is already set up and you won't have to start from scratch every week. You're not sitting there figuring out what you need to be doing. These recurring time blocks become the foundation of your weekly routine. When it's time to plan specific tasks, you can simply update each block with exactly what you'll be working on, like write podcast script or follow up with client A. By setting this up once, you save yourself time and mental energy down the road. Your calendar will reflect your ideal week, giving you a clear plan and more control over your schedule. From here on, normal time blocking rules apply. When a task pops up, that's the one thing you're working on. No multitasking. If a task goes over or ends short, move the upcoming tasks around to reflect the new reality. I've talked about how your to-do list empties out into your calendar. When you do that, you can use one of these pre-scheduled category blocks that is appropriate for the item on your to-do list that you're trying to get scheduled. So let me try to say that more clearly using an example. If you have an idea of what your next email newsletter will be about that's on your to-do list, you'll look at your calendar and see where you have content creation written down and make part of that time scheduled to write about that topic that you had on your to-do list. That's how it all fits together. That's really it for creating your ideal week. It takes what we've already talked about with time blocking and using your calendar versus to-do list to the next level. But as always, it's only powerful for those who go through the exercise. So be sure to go download the template and take some time to thoughtfully plan out how you want your weeks to go. Because at the end of the day, how your weeks go is how your life will go. If you don't have your day and week structured the way you want your life to be like, then, well, you won't be meeting your long-term goals, to say it nicely. If you'd like help bringing structure and organization into your weeks, I can help. Set up a free mini session at bjbutler.com.